Hello everyone, welcome to IT Learn 360. In this video, we are going to talk about one of the topic that's why should you choose robot frameworks over Selenium in automation testing. So last time when I released my robot frameworks video, so there I got a lot of inquiries, a lot of queries asking for basically which is better, robot frameworks or Selenium. So they were asking about most of the comments were related to that, where shall you go for robot frameworks or you go for Selenium. So I thought, why don't I create a video and let know all my users that what exactly the role of robot frameworks is and what exactly the Selenium is, which is better and which one to work with. It's your decision. It's like you decide which one is better, but I'll tell you the uses, I'll tell you how it works, and basically I'll give you a scenario where you can easily figure it out that which one is easy, either the robot frameworks or the Selenium one. So let's talk about it. So let's start this video. So first thing what we need to understand is the title first, what exactly I'm saying or what exactly this title means. So if you are a manual tester or someone scared of coding, then this video is for you, because the one who don't like coding, or they say that okay, coding is hard to do, I'm a simple manual tester, or I'm from a non-IT background and I want things easier than coding, because in coding you have to write a lot of steps, you have to do languages. So for them I've created this video specially so that they get a clarification, basically it becomes clear to them how exactly to approach to the frameworks in this AI world, which is more easier to use and which can help you to get knowledge easily, or where you can do automation without knowing a lot of codings. So in this video, we break why robot frameworks is becoming the go-to choice for many QA professionals, especially manual testers, freshers, and non-coders who want to automate without writing heavy codes. So I hope it's clear what exactly my choice is and what exactly I'm trying to say. So robot frameworks is especially for those who are freshers, manual testers, and non-coders, and they want to do automation without writing heavy codes. So I'll not say that you don't have to write anything in robot frameworks. You have to, but not that of coding. So let's understand what is robot frameworks. So Robot Frameworks is an open source automation testing frameworks that uses a keyword driven approach to write test cases in plain English like syntax. So basically an open source automation testing software, that means you can easily use it, and it's keyword driven approach. Now keyword driven approach means that based on the keywords that you write, the code or basically the test case executes. That's mean by key driven approach, keyword driven approach. So there are certain keywords that you have to follow when you're writing the test cases, and you'll see the test cases are written in simple English language. It's built on top of Python and it's designed to be easier for beginners, especially the manual testers and non-programmer. Like you will see this thing many times, like when it comes to robot frameworks, that this thing will be specially mentioned that it's easier for them. Now, what's the highlight of this robot frameworks? Keyword driven, like write test using high level keywords, like if you are opening a browser, write the keyword open browser. If you click a button, write the keyword as key click button. So these are the keywords that basically you'll be using it. Built-in libraries. Now in robot frameworks, you have built-in libraries, like it supports Selenium, it supports API database, and more tools. So it supports. So basically, these libraries, when you install robot frameworks in your project, these libraries are available along with robot frameworks. So when you add robot frameworks, these libraries comes along with it. So you have built-in libraries. So you don't have to look for the libraries here and there. You all have it inside the robot frameworks. Extensible, you can create custom keywords in Python. Now the thing is that you have some basically the keywords key are already predefined in robot frameworks. At the same time, you can create your own custom keywords that will be basically you can write your own custom keywords that will basically help you to write your own codes in if required. And that keywords are basically the custom keywords what we are building that's written in Python. So from here, one more point is clear that robot frameworks is both supportable in terms of Python. So it's something that's generated from the Python thing. Now, again, here using Jenkins, GitHub, Dockers, And these LO reports are very easy. Now, geez, you know that if you have some idea or if you're not from an IT background, I'll tell you this Jenkins is something from the DevOps part. Basically, that's an advanced part of thing that we integrate to our automation frameworks or basically to our frameworks. Usually, in every cases, we add we use this uh, tools basically to after the automation to run it on the for where everyone can interact and execute code. So basically, working with Jenkins and GitHub is very easy in robot frameworks. The readable test case. So test looks like documentation. When you write test case, you will see it looks like a documentation. It's easy to read and write and maintain, like very easy. Now, I was talking about the test cases. I mentioned the test cases are written in simple English language. This is an example how we write a test cases. So for example, you are writing a test case to log into a website. So very simple. Just you write the keyword open browser. When you write this keyword open browser, it means that you are trying to open a browser. Then you pass the website link and mention which browser you want to use. Like if you want to open the website in the Chrome, pass the Chrome keyword. If you want to open in Firefox, pass the Firefox keyword. That's all. Now, when you input a text, then use this keyword input text. And when you click a button, do click button. So if you see, these are the common steps usually you'll come across in a website, like input some text, click somewhere. So basically here, these keywords you'll be using, and based on these keywords, input text, click button, the test cases will execute. Pass your ID, pass the value, the locator values. Now, this is something related to automation, but it's very simple. You just locate the elements, connect with the elements, pass the locator values, and just pass the informations, whichever informations you'll be using. That's all. So this ID username, basically you are passing the locator informations, and these are the username and password that you'll be passing. So if you see, and if you read this slowly, you'll find that it's very simple. It says open a browser. That means this browser you're opening the Chrome, you're using the Chrome uh, browser. And again, you input a text, you input a password, and then you click the login button. This is how you write a test case, and this is how you function a test case in robot frameworks. We'll see a practical example where you'll see this thing taking place. I'll just show you the code how it looks like. So in short, you can say this robot flick is simple, scalable, and beginner friendly. Like for someone who has not done coding before, for them it's very simple to understand and just to execute too. So that's how robot frameworks is, and this is the glimpse of robot framework how it looks like. Now from here you'd be getting some ideas that robot frameworks is it looks like somewhat friendly, user friendly in terms of it's easy for you to understand. Now what's if you see robot frameworks that beneficial, then what's the problem with the old thing? Because from long time we are using Selenium, and why the robot frameworks came into use. So here are certain reasons like required strong programming skills. So if you are doing Selenium, and if you search about Selenium, if you go through Selenium, and if you are familiar with Selenium, you would know that we need a programming language like Java, Python, or any of them to run the Selenium tools. So that's the first thing, programming skills are required. Second, no built-in test structure. So basically, if you are using any other frameworks in your project, you have to add those frameworks to your project. Again, they're building a project, adding the frameworks. These are the tough parts that you have to go through. So that was something that's going from the long time. So we are just trying to cut it short. Extra setups like reporting and logging. For reporting and logging, you have to use different libraries. You have to add those libraries. Then you'll be able to implement reports and login. So you see, for every step, you have to add some libraries and then you have to execute them. Now, this is something that's going on from a traditional time, from long time. So just we are moving those things and getting into this AI world, making things more easier. And it's easy for executable. Now, the same things we are doing in robot frameworks. It's not that we are not doing reporting in robot frameworks. We do that, but we don't need to add a new built-in, or we don't need to add a library to this. Now, low readability for non-coders. As you have seen, the test scripts are very simple to understand, so no need to write codes. For non-coders is very simple. Steeper learning curves, like beginners can feel overwhelmed, while concepts like locators, weight setup. So these are basic things that you have to learn and not many more. So obviously the basic concepts you have to learn. It can't be like everything will be that easy, but yeah, basic concepts like locators, what is weight, setup, these things when you get familiar to, then you can easily use this. So basically, that's with robot frameworks. But with this, you have to learn a lot of things with Selenium. Like When you're writing Selenium, then in case of Selenium, you have to learn locators, weight. You have many more things coming up. Like in there, you'll have frames. Again, you will have uh, again you'll learn about the frames, pop-ups. So a lot of things to learn there. So too many learnings required in Selenium. That's not required in robot frameworks. Now, side by side syntax comparison. So this is the syntax when you're writing with Selenium Python. You write this way: driver is equals to webdriver.chrome. So you're writing a proper code. But in robot frameworks, you write open URL Chrome. So this is just a statement. Input type. So here you write basically the driver which you have assigned value driver dot find element, basically a method that helps you to find the element. Then send keys where you can send the username. So you see you have to write again inside find element, you'll be passing the locator values. So this complete step you have to write. Now the same thing in robot frameworks, you're writing input text id is equals to username, id is equals to username, basically the locator values, and then you are straight away passing the username. So it's quite easy to understand that this is how we are writing. Now benefits of robot frameworks for learner: no programming background needed. So someone who's trying to run robot frameworks, they will say that okay, just they come up, they see a language is there, start using it. No programming background needed. Test tool looks like the English statement, obviously. Faster test case creations, supports Selenium. Now, without writing codes, it's supporting Selenium API, DB, mobile, all in one tool. So one robot framework supporting all. When you are going to write APIs, same robot frameworks will be for that too. Easier to debug and maintain. Obviously, when you have test cases in simple English languages, you'll find it very easier to use it. Required libraries, like obviously the Selenium libraries. These libraries you have to keep while using robot frameworks. Basically, you will have these libraries when you will be using this in PyCharm. You will by default you'll have these libraries. You have to just go and install them. Create your own keywords in Python for that custom. If you want, you can create your own. You can create your own keywords in Python. Easy integration with Jenkins and GitHub. Obviously, you don't need to go through a longer process where you pass the locations and all, because it's inbuilt in robot framework. So you can easily connect to Jenkins and GitHub. Now, use cases. Web, basically, it can be used for website testing, for API testing, for database validation, data-driven testing, regression, and smoke testing. So you see, it's basically supporting all that process that supports all that cases that supports in Selenium. So robot frameworks is something that's easier to use, and it's covering everything that you have been doing from a traditional point of view. So it's not leaving anything that you have done back before. The same thing you're doing here too. When to use Selenium instead? If you need full control of browsers and DOM, custom automation engines, complex dynamic element. Yeah, this is one point where I'll focus on Selenium, or I'll prefer Selenium, is when I want complete control on the browser, DOM basically document object model, when I want a complete control on the website, and basically when we have dynamic element handlings, dynamic elements like which keep changing at regular interval. So in that case, Selenium will be more helpful. So robot frameworks is easier to use, easier to execute, but still the Selenium exists in those cases where you come across real-time situations, or basically the situations that change regularly. That usually comes across in websites. So in that case, Selenium will be needed. So I hope the concept of these robot frameworks and Selenium is quite clear, and at which point we are using robot frameworks, how useful robot frameworks is, and how useful the Selenium is. I hope by this video it's clear. So ideal learner who learns basically robot framework, manual testers, fresher in QA, career switchers, non-IT background learners, and functional testers. So basically all those who don't like codings, or not, they don't are familiar with the codings, they go for robot frameworks. So I hope these all discussions, these all examples which I have put up, is that clear to understand the importance of robot frameworks and Selenium. I hope those who are asking the questions, I hope it's clear to all of them. Now, one last thing, I'll show you the codes. I have codes in both the languages. This is the code in Selenium. I've used the code using Java. In fact, I have for Python too, but I thought let's go with Java, just like I've randomly picked the code. So here in this code, I'm doing login. So what things I'm doing here is I'm explaining you a bit of code. I know those who are not from the coding background, It's for them to, they can at least understand the structure of the code. So at this point, I describe the driver locations. I initialize the value to the driver with the name as browser object. And using this browser object, I call the get method where I pass the URL, basically which the URL, the website which I'm trying to test. Again, we write here, we create values for a username where basically I identify the username section in a website using this browser object dot find element. Again, for the password, we do the same, follow the steps. So basically, see, I'm writing steps for everything. And how many steps I'm writing? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like if you count 3 to 5, 7, and at least 7 to 9 to 11, 13, and like 7, 15, 16, 17 statements I'm writing for a login process. This is for username, this is for password, this is for sending the values, then to click the uh, login button. So this is the most simplest code, or this is the most simplest way you can break a code and write in case of Selenium. So when I'm writing the code in Selenium, I write this code in 17 lines. Now I move to this robot frameworks. Now this is the code for robot frameworks. Now in the same case now when I'm writing the test case for a login process, this is the test case for the login process. How many steps I need? 2, 4, 6, and 7. 7 steps here and 17 steps there. And both are doing the same thing. You see here I say like login with users, username and password. So this is the test case. Here I've built some keywords. Through these keywords, I'm passing the username and password. And then click the element, like I click the element, input the text. So I'm inputting the text using the username, input the text. So I'm inputting this using the password, and then click element where I'm clicking the submit button. And here these steps, now these steps are quite common in every code you will be writing, because here I like to write the import lines. I'm using Selenium library, data driven. So I'm mentioning those things. So this is a proper code in robot frameworks. In real time, you'll be doing. And these steps are quite common in every cases. The important part is this test case and the keywords that you are writing. I talked about building the keywords. These are the keywords that I'm building. And keywords is for what? So that I can run the template. So you see, I've defined this keyword with it run login code. Now, if I want to run this login code everywhere, just have to pass this keyword, it run login code. And this keyword will run in any module, anywhere you want to run. Just pass this keyword in the project, and that this login page, this login schedule or the login process will work. So this is how simple the robot frameworks makes things. Now here, that no code is required. You don't see any programming language. You see simple English text, and this is how it looks like. I hope after this explanation, this answer to this question, which which one to choose, or like which one to choose over, like the question which was, why should you choose robot frameworks over Selenium for automation testing? I hope that answer would be clear. So it's quite clear that why I'm using robot frameworks over Selenium and why you should choose that. That's all in this video. In next video, I'll come up with some new topics where you will see more about the robot frameworks. I'll talk about robots implementations. So just stay tuned and keep watching my video, and don't forget to subscribe my channel so to go through and come through this type of more videos, understand more about new coming languages. Stay tuned. Thank you and bye-bye.